Okay, hey Emily. Um, so let me just show you what I've got. So I've got these 4 photos pulled into Lightroom. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, and this one, and then we'll do the one with the houses in the background last. So, on this one, the first thing, you did a really good job of like slightly underexposing so that we can see all the details in her dress, which is awesome. So we're going to pull this up, but being mindful of still being able to see those details because that's what the bride really cares about. So pull up the exposure and then a little bit of contrast. Then it's going to be important to pull down your highlights. You can see if I pull them up, it blows out the dress. But if I pull it down, then it's going to show me more detail. And that's going to allow me to pull up my exposure just a little bit more so that it's nice and bright, but I can still see the detail in her dress. Then I'm going to pull down the shadows, which is just mainly going to affect the background, and same with the blacks. Just to give a little bit more dimension to the photo. And then we're going to slide down. Sorry, I've got a cold. I'm going to pull up the clarity just a little, and then I'm going to pull up the vibrance just a little as well. I think the white balance looks good. I think her skin tone looks good. So I'm just going to slide all the way down here to the detail section, and I'm going to sharpen it a little bit. And then I'm going to pull up the action, and I'm going to zoom in pretty close on like this area where it's pretty dark. And you can see I can see just like a teeny bit of noise in the dark part. So I'm just going to bring that noise reduction up a little bit more. But it looks like on her eyes it looks really good. So that's probably a good amount. Okay, and then I'm just going to slide down to effects. And I'm just going to pull down the vignette just a teeny bit. So far, here's what it looks like. Here's the before and here's the after. But to really like make her pop, I'm going to slide all the way back up to the top. I'm going to come up here and grab the adjustment brush. And these are just like the settings that are already on there. So it's warmed up just a little. Exposure is up to a little bit of contrast. We're going to pull down the highlights just a little bit of shadow, bring up the whites, bring down the blacks, and then bring up the sharpness. And I'm going to come in here just on her face and hair, like this. And then I'm going to reduce the size of my brush, and I'm going to come right in here on her hands and arms. Okay. And then I'm just going to click done or click the brush, whatever you want to do. And then when I click it again, I'm going to bring my exposure down and I'm going to paint over her dress. So, and that red mark just shows me where I'm at. I'm going to just come down here. Okay, and then I can brighten it up. And I just want to add a little bit more brightness to her dress. And then I'm going to bring the highlights down just a little, just so that her dress pops out from the snow a little bit more. So it's nice and bright, but we can still see the lace and details and stuff. Okay, so there's the before and there's the after, and I would probably call that good. So I'm going to go ahead and copy, and I'm just going to click check all and copy, and then I'm going to come over to this next one and I'm going to paste it. Now, obviously, like we've got some funky like colors and stuff going on from this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hover over these or click on these dots and delete them. There we go. And then we're just working on the base picture again. So I'm going to bring my brightness down just a little because I really want to see those mountains and some of that stuff. I want that to pop out a little bit better. And I'm going to pull down the shadows, down the blacks just a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring up the temperature just a little bit so that the mountains and the shadows aren't quite so blue. And then, alright, so then I'm going to come in here to the adjustment brush, and it's got the last settings that I used on it. So I'm just going to brush over both of them and just see what that does. Okay, so yeah, that's too bright for the dress, but not bright enough for their faces. So let's actually brighten this up just a teeny bit more. And okay. And then I'm going to come in here right on her face, right on his face. I'm going to get the temperature back down to just where it was. And then pull the exposure up a bit. And one trick, so you can see there's kind of like the halo effect around their heads, because I didn't go in and do a very good job on that. But if you pull, like we can erase that away. So what I'm saying though is pull the contrast down a little bit and then pull the exposure up a little bit. And that'll make their faces look nice and even. Let's see here. Okay, and then I'm just going to hover over this without clicking. You can see like, yep, we definitely could use to go in here and erase some of the outline around them. So I'm just going to switch it to the eraser and then just draw around their heads like this. Good. Okay, and then let's pull the white up just a little, make them nice and bright. Okay, I'm going to slide down here while I'm zoomed in, and I'm just going to grab her arm. And don't worry about getting too detailed, like I'm not going to worry really about her thumb. I'm going to grab his hands, and that should be good. I'm still seeing a little bit of haloing around him though. So I'm going to grab that eraser, come in nice and close to both of them. Okay, so that looks really good. And now I'm going to come in with this second brush. And this time I'm going to do her dress. And so I'm going to come down. And I'm not going to get too detailed on this bottom part, and I'll show you why in just a sec. And then I'm going to do his suit. Okay. Alright. Okay, now what you can do, we're going to pull the highlights down just a little, but I like the overall like exposure and brightness of that. I'm going to come down here to the eraser, and I'm going to put it down to this flow. It's usually at 100. I'm going to put it down to like half of that, and then I'm going to bring the size up a little bit and come brush the bottom of this. What that's going to do is it's only going to erase it 50% of the power. So there is still some lightness, but it's not like overwhelming against the snow. And then we're going to come back to this, and we're going to warm the temperature of that dress up just a little bit. Maybe to there, because I'm seeing some blue down here. That looks good. Okay, awesome. So here's the before and after on that one. Okay, I'm going to record you another video because this one's getting long, so just hang tight.